Welcome back, fashionistas, to another Clean With Me trash can edition. It is really time to get this trash can together. It's been about 3 months since I've cleaned that thing. But you guys, I went to HEB the other day, me and my son, and it was another couple in there. They were with their son, and my son and him were playing on their iPads, right? And so they started talking, asking about games and handles and all this other stuff. And all of a sudden, the son just says, "Hey, man, my parents are on Adderall." Like when they walk away, he was like, "Yeah, and they get it on the low." And I'm looking at the parents like, "Hey, come get your kid." And they just were smiling and everything else. I'm like, excuse me. And he was like, "Yeah, the low." And he was like, "The low." My son said, "The low." The little boy said, "The low." I was like, "Goodbye. Have a nice day. Go on about your business." And me and my son get to the truck, and he's very inquisitive. He wants to know about all this stuff. And I'm obliged to tell him so that he can know. So I explained to tell him, what the low is and what Adderall is and all this other stuff. And so he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to have to block him on my game. I can't be having all that stats po." And I was like, "Well, that's your prerogative. Who you hang out with tells more about you than it does them, And he was like, "Yeah, Mom, I get you." And I was like, "Well, if you ever meet anybody who had past discretions, but they're trying to become a better person and they are becoming a better person, maybe you shouldn't judge them off their past." And he proceeds to ask me, "Well, why shouldn't I?" I was like, "Well, would you judge me off my past if you knew I had a past?" And he was like, "Well, did you have a past?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was in them streets." And he was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Tell me the stories about when you were in the streets, Mom." And I was like, "Nah, I can't. I can't do that. When you get a little bit older, I'll explain to you so nobody can ever come and try to use it against you." So he comes in the house and he proceeds to ask my husband, "Did you know that Mom was in the streets in the past?" And he was like, "Your mom went in the streets. Your mom had an anger problem." And then he proceeds to look at me like this.